everybody, this is Marie and welcome to Marie's Chatty Tarot. Today we're going to be talking about Jesus. Yes, we're diving into his teaching, who he was. It's going to be a long one today. I hope that you stick around. Thank you guys so much for my current and my new subscribers on my YouTube, on my BitChute, and on my Rumble channels. You guys are awesome. I am pleasantly surprised. I am grateful, appreciative. I am speechless. Thank you so much. You guys have no idea how much it means to me. It's good to know that you're not alone in this journey, right? I thank you guys. So for those interested, today I'm going to be using my Radiant Tarot deck. I do not have a covering for it because this is one of my oldest decks. So I've been keeping it on this little bag here. It was my mom's favorite deck. So I feel like it's a good card. It's a good deck to use to talk about Jesus. So tomorrow I'm doing this video like early, very early Easter morning. Like it's like almost 2 o'clock right now, Easter time. So and I'm gonna try to upload the video late afternoon for Easter. And I thought, let's try to have a chat about Jesus with Jesus and see what he wants to share. And I wanted to start my first question with, who is Jesus? So we know that his name is not Jesus, that his real name is Joshua ben Joseph. Joshua ben Joseph. And that he spent a lot of time with the Essenes, and a lot of his teaching came from there, which was totally different from the Judeo whatever. So Jesus, and I think you guys is worth exploring if you are a true teacher of his following. It would be worth your time to check out the Essenes, that community that raised Jesus. And so we wanted to know, so we know that he exists at one point in time, that he was crucified. There are many accounts about that, so I'm not going to ask the question about did he exist. We know he did. So we're going to ask, who is Joshua ben Joseph? What is the card wants to share about that? I'm not going to use Jesus because the Vatican created that name. And that's how they subvert, that's how they take away the connection to source by using another name. So who is Joshua ben Joseph? Who is Joshua ben Joseph? A lot of people know him by Jesus, but his true name is Joshua ben Joseph. Who is he, or who was he? Cups. The first card, Knight of Pentacle, situation. 2 of Pentacle, in the past, sword, present. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. I don't know why I'm so. And Magician, potential outcome. Hierophant as clarification, and sword as clarification. So we asked the card, who was Joshua ben Joseph? A lot of people knows him as Jesus. So basically, he was somebody who was very innocent, a messenger. Now, page is our messengers, And they could also mean, so this is going to be layered here, page or messengers. And it's somebody, what drives them is their emotion. At the same token, the second layer is somebody who is very innocent deep down, very idealistic, very, very hopeful about life. There's this innocence about him that the card is conveying that's surprising. Of course, it's a surprising card. And I know that a lot of people have mentioned that Jesus was either born during Pisces, the month that represent Pisces, or the month of Virgo. And it looks like here, it feels very Pisces energy that's coming through. So, yeah, I always thought that Jesus was born on 9/11, but maybe, just maybe, Jesus was born uh, uh, Pisces, what, like February or March or something? I'm sure somebody will comment. So, very, there's this there's this innocence about him. There's this purity about him. That's pretty interesting. So that's answer the cards. And situation is Knight of Pentacles. So Knight of Pentacles is somebody who was free spirit, somebody who's very sovereign in how he thought. And the Knight of Pentacle also, Pentacle deals with money, anything tangible. We knew that Jesus was born and raised in a middle class family, very well documented. His uncle, who was, I think, uh, Jesus, Jesus's father, I think his name was also Joseph. He was a merchant, and he was traveling up and down the coast, the Mediterranean, oh Lord, Mediterranean uh, uh, peninsula, and he went as far as England, his uncle. So that's how Jesus was able to travel, to be educated with different masters. If you go into research, so he was very much somebody who's in a very well-to-do family, like middle class, and he was an independent thinker. So the card is reflecting that, which is so cool, interesting. Okay, two of Pentacle in the past. So two of Pentacle, usually two of Pentacles mean juggling something, and the fact that it's two, uh, Pentacle means tangible resources, something that is real, something that you can touch. That tells me that maybe he had to juggle two way of thinking, two realities, because we know that he spent a lot of times with the Essenes, that he spent a lot of time traveling with his uncle. Yet, Israel, Jerusalem at that time was under the occupation of the Romans. So that tells me that he had to reconcile, what he learned and how the reality is. So I guess there was a juggling for him to try to juggle those two reality, or reconcile them somehow. So okay, that's interesting. Present time. So we ask, who was been Joseph, Joshua ben Joseph, or Jesus. And he was somebody very much for the truth. He was all about spiritual awakening. He was all about putting information out there to awaken people, because swords is about truths, uh, 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 words, information, and all of that. And ace also denotes new beginning. So he wanted to awaken the people in a spiritual level, in an informational, intellectual level, so that they could awaken. Um, Magician. So this is so interesting. It's the magician that shows up, because magician is the first card in the major arcana, the trump card. So it means that he was very good at communicating his ideals, communicating his belief, because what rules the magician card is um, is Mercury. So communication is about trying to put thoughts in manifesting. So he was very good at manifesting. He was also an alchemist. He was also good at making doing miracles. In a way, he was a magician. Again, all this time with the Essenes, these people were healers. They studied mysticism. So Jesus was very influenced with these people, and he had the gift to become a magician, to do uh, healing, and to, or like raise people from the dead. So I'm not surprised that it's the magician card that showed up for Jesus, because it represents him as an alchemist, as a great communicator, or as somebody who's able to manifest his idea in such a way that is well received to the population. So that is so cool. Wow. Clarification. Oh, sure. Clarification. The Hierophants, so organized religion, basically the cabal, basically did everything that they could to stop his teaching, to end his so-called reign with that 10 of swords. So because swords is truth, words, information, and 10 is ending. So the cabal, the organized religion with the Hierophant, in a very big way, they were threatened with him. So that, again, it's the major arcana that's showing up. And we're still seeing this to this day. The playbook is still there. Everybody that are different, everybody that is have a different way of thinking, different way of doing things, gets shut down, or being called conspiracy theorists, or being called different names by somebody, some group. They're being targeted, they're being censored, and they tried to shut them down. Same thing happened to Jesus. I'm pretty sure Jesus was an anon. There was no telegram at that time, but he got shut down anyway. He got censored permanently. Okay, cool. So we know who was Joshua ben Joseph. So now my question is, was he an ascended master? Because after you do some research about Jesus, about who he was, there's no way this guy was just a simple dude. He had to be a very evolved, highly evolved soul. So the legend is, the word on the street, based on my research, I'm thinking that maybe Jesus was a highly evolved soul, or maybe, yes, I'm going to say it, an alien who came from whatever dimension, came down to teach us the way. So, and then he got resurrected and went back and yada yada yada. The rest is history. So I've come to that conclusion personally, that maybe he's an ascended master. Guys, some people will call him saint. So let's ask, was Joshua ben Joseph, a lot of people call him Jesus, was an ascended master that came to earth to teach? Was he already an ascended master that came to earth as Joshua ben Joseph to teach the word, the good news, right? So that's the question. Come on, Jesus. Joshua, were you already an ascended master when you came down here? First card is Six of Swords. Second card is Queen of Pentacles. Ace of Wands. Nine of Pentacles. Again, interesting. Same pattern. Page of Cups. Interesting. Wow. Again. Eight of Wands. Two of Swords. So we asked the question, was Joshua ben Joseph, was he an ascended master before he came down to earth to preach the good news? And in the past, it says yes. All aces are yes. When you ask a question, if it shows up, it means that yes. So he was an ascended master. And it's the one that shows up Oh, so wands is passion, motivation. Um, it's as if the card is trying to say that he wanted to come back, that it was his fervent wish to, even though he was an ascended master, he didn't need to come back to a lower plane. He could have just easily moved forward to the next level. And he decided to come back. He wanted to do it. He was motivated to do it. It's beautiful. So again, independent keeper, a thinker with the Nine of Pentacles, somebody who was very comfortable in his upbringing. Again, I'm referencing to uh, uh, Joseph's father, Joseph's uh, uh, brother, Joshua's uncle was a very big factor in his life. He was pretty well to do, and therefore, because of that, the family was doing pretty okay. And so Joseph was treated like a son to that uncle, and he was like a big influence in his life. And because of that, Joseph was um, he was able to do his own thing. He didn't have to follow tradition like was expected for a lot of the uh, young men back in the day. So that Nine of Pentacles, that's what that tells me. And again, the page. So yeah, when he decided to come back uh, to the earth plane, that's the page. That's the form that he chose. Somebody very emotional, very empathetic, very idealistic, very loving, very caring. And there's a sin, innocence, and purity about him. And that's that card. And that was Jesus. So sword, Six of Swords. So we asked the question, was he already an ascended master? So the card in the past said yes. So now this is saying, so he decided to leave. He decided to leave his comfy place, whatever dimension that he's from, and descended here on the earth plane uh, to awaken, because the Queen of Pentacles is about practicality, or in a big way, to, well, provide information, bring receipt. And that's what he did, right, with his messages and having all those disciples, all those eyewitness accounting of him. So he wanted to make a big splash. I guess he did. With that Queen of Pentacles, because the Queen of Pentacles, she likes everybody to be in comfort. She wants everybody to be just as comfortable as she is, and she wants people to uh, uh, and she's generous about giving, and that, in a way, that was Jesus in his teaching. So that's pretty cool. Clarification. So eight of wands. So Eight of Wands mean travel, means movement. So yeah, I think we've it kind of makes sense, because Jesus was a traveler. He traveled not only with his uncle, he also traveled when he was preaching the good word all over, and even after he was gone, quote unquote, people still talk of his apparition and seeing him, because different culture kind of sort of have a reference of Jesus, maybe by another name, but by his teaching is still kind of sort of the same. So that's pretty cool that the Eight of Wands come, because it's a traveling card, it's a movement card. So you mean a travel, movement. And Two of Sword, Two of Sword. Who was Jesus? The Two of Sword is usually about uh, not wanting to see the truth, or have a decision to make. That's interesting. Two of Swords. So we know that was an ascended master, that he came down anyway, independent thinker, very well to do. So he left on his own accord to come in this plain world. And he traveled. So this is telling me the Two of Swords that he traveled to spread the good news, to try to awake people who were not, some of them were ready, but a lot of them were not ready to hear the message. So as if he was here ahead of his time, because Two of Swords is about truth words, information. And you see that lady, she doesn't want to see anything. She's blindfolded, and she doesn't want to face any of the facts as of yet. It's as if she was there before his time. So that's interesting. So okay, so he was an ascended master, so that's good to know. So what was Jesus's true message? I mean, we kind of sort of know that the Bible has fudged a lot of the information. There's a lot of biblical texts that are missing from the Bible. We can go on and on. And we know that the Catholic Church is not the true church. Is that after Jesus died at the cross, his uncle moved Jesus's family, mother and possible wife and kid, whatever, to England, and where they started a church there. So the Vatican never really shared Jesus' true message. So let's ask, what was the true message? The real message that ascended master Joshua ben Joseph came to deliver to the world. People call him Jesus. Joshua. What was the true message? Three of Wands first. Nine of Swords situation. Nine of Cups, pass. Four of Wands, present. Five of Pentacles, potential outcome. King of Wands, clarification. And Emperor, clarification. So we ask, what was Jesus' true message? Okay, there's so much to unpack here. Three of Wands, as if, so the first thing, Jesus wanted to let people know that there was another way. There was another alternative of living, of doing things, because one is about what motivates you, fire in your belly. So it's as if he wanted to show people there's a different way to live. There's a different way of doing things. That we live in a world of abundance. Again, I have to refer to their scene, the way they live. That's what's influence. Where there's abundance, where everybody's fed, everybody's happy. So I think when he came out of the outside world and started doing his preaching, he noticed that maybe society was too constrained. Maybe people are taking advantage of people, because the church played a big role back in the day. You have to pay for Passover. I mean, there was a lot going on, to the point that he went during the week of Passover, and he was so angry that he was pushing tables over and everything. So Jesus thought that there was another way. He believed that that's not what God, the source, wanted. That the way people were living at that time, people were like, so he wanted to show people there's a different journey, there's a different way of doing things. Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords. So it's somebody who was worried that their message was not coming across. Nine of Swords is truth, thoughts, information. His message. Because this is a card of being worried, being saddened, and doubts and fear. That's interesting. That's the card that shows up for Jesus. It's as if his fear was that people will not get his message, will not understand what he's trying to convey. That bothered him a lot, it seemed. Thank you for sharing. Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups in the past. You know, what's coming to me is that he's somebody who's have the ability, who was very in tune with his emotion, that's able to manifest what he desired. And I think that's what he wanted for people, to be able to manifest what they desired, to be able to get to the point where, you live in a world of harmony. Yeah, I want to live in a world where everybody will get along, be happy, and be united. Because Four of Wands is a card of celebration, of safety, of breaking through this gateway and going a place of stability, of joy, of abundance, of happiness. So that was his wish. But unfortunately, things did not go as well. He lost. Because I guess we know it, the deep state, they wanted to make money of the people. The church had a very big stronghold. It was all about money. Jesus wanted to stop having all those offerings and all that stuff, because Jesus is like, you don't need somebody to pay somebody to find God. God is within. So the message was not properly conveyed. It was lost at one point. By King of Wands. King of Wands is as if it's telling me like powerful people that could represent the king at that time, Nimrod and the descendant of him. They were afraid, and also the emperor, law and order. The Roman were occupying that space. So I think both of them decided, but basically his message was a new way of looking at things, that you can manifest a new reality for yourself, one that is outside of this matrix, basically. It's sad that he didn't get to achieve it with the Five of Pentacles, but maybe we can this time around. So the last question is, what is your advice for us? So Joshua ben Joseph, what's the advice for us right now? What's the advice? What advice do you have for us? Joshua ben Joseph. Lord Jesus. What's your advice? Four of Swords, Five of Wands, Queen of Swords in the past, Four of Cups, present, Page of Cups, again, the Tower, clarification, and the Two of Wands, clarification. So we asked for advice. The first card that came about is the Four of Swords. So basically is about take time for yourself, take time to meditate, take time to retreat within, take your time, not be too quick for action, because there's going to be a lot of noise, a lot of conflict, a lot of change happening. So don't be too quick to act. Take your time, digest what's going on before you judge, before you act, all the above. Now more than ever, it's time to take a step back, right? Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords, a lot of information is going to be coming out. Revelation is going to come out on all levels. Spiritual, mental, intellectual is coming out. And we've seen that going on right now. Four of Cups in the present is saying that I know that, as if to say, a lot of people are going through fatigue, battle fatigue, where everybody, or information fatigue, where you're getting so much information, bombarded with so much bad information, bad news, all of the above, that you're just like tired. You just want to sit and not care. But the card is saying, it's as if it's saying, don't be that way, because opportunity may come you by, but if you're so stuck in your own problems, stuck in your head, you may not realize the new opportunity that's coming, or the miracle that may come your way. So now more than ever, yes, a lot of people are bombarded. You're being bombarded with news, but don't be so caught up that you don't realize the little miracles or the new opportunities that's coming your way. And the Page of Cups, that's the card for Jesus. So all the reading, I'm sure you've seen that this card has been coming up. It's as if to say, don't lose yourself. Don't lose, I would say, that inner child, that idealism of what is possible, of what is beautiful. And it's as if to say that he's with us. As there's going to be a lot of changes going along with the Tower moment, a lot of sudden events. It's going to occur in a big way. And that's the only Tower card on this spread. It's as if to say there's going to be a lot of big events that's going to come out. Maybe there's one big event that's going to really shake things to its core, the world, the population, to the point that people will want to seek other alternative, want to seek other answer. I'm going to take 2 more cards. 10 of Wands is ending. So the 2 cards is like 10 of Swords and 2 of Swords. Again, it's as if same thing is happening like during his time, that there's an ending, and there's still going to be people who's not going to want to accept the message, just going to want to see the truth. But I don't think they're going to have a choice here with that ending. Whether they want it or not, they're going to have to face, and they're going to have to make a decision. That's the beauty of free will, right? Wow, that's an interesting read, and you know, it's pretty cool. And I didn't think, I don't know how to say this, but doing a reading about Joshua ben Joseph is pretty cool. It's as if it's somebody I've met before. It feels familiar somehow. Thank you guys for sticking with me to the end of this video. That was pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you. See you in the next one. Happy Easter. Bye. And Passover. Bye, guys.